Hi, I'm Dave Johnson, editor of TechWalla, and what I have here is HTC's newest flagship phone, the HTC 10. It is a really good phone. In fact, I would unambiguously recommend the HTC 10 if I didn't know anything about any of its competition. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to that in a minute. The first thing that I want to talk about is the craftsmanship of this phone. Check it out. It's all aluminum. It has these really nice rounded corners and flat sides for easy gripping. Even the buttons are awesome. It has a textured power button, and they got the button in the right place. Now, iPhone 6 owners are painfully aware of how Apple fumbled the power button on the newest iPhones. They put the power button opposite the volume control, so I find it virtually impossible to turn the phone on without changing the volume at the same time. If you know anything at all about the HTC 10, you've probably heard that HTC moved the speakers around. They're not front-facing anymore. Now, there's a woofer down here, and the tweeter's up here where your ear is, and they're both independently amplified, so they sound really good, but they're not best in class. The screen is really nice as well. It's a 5.2-inch Quad HD display. It's bright, it's vibrant. There are a few phones out there that are going to look as good or better than this. The HTC 10 also has a fingerprint reader. It works quickly and precisely, and I'd say, as you can see, it works pretty much instantaneously. There's also a pair of capacitive buttons hidden down here in the bezel. I really like the camera as well, but it's certainly not the best in class. Recently, TechWalla writer Jason Cipriani published a camera phone face-off between 5 of the top smartphones, and we invited TechWalla readers to vote on the photos that we published without revealing which phones they belong to. The HTC 10 images came in 4th place, behind the iPhone 6s, Galaxy S7 Edge, and the Nexus 6P. Ouch. But the poll notwithstanding, this camera takes really good pictures, due in no small part to the 12-megapixel sensor and the fact that it has optical image stabilization and a laser autofocus. It takes really good HDR photos in its auto HDR mode as well. HTC includes a double swipe gesture to activate the camera from the phone's lock screen. I actually prefer this to the way that you start the camera on the iPhone. And HTC packs a 5-megapixel sensor into the selfie camera in front and gives it optical image stabilization, which I'm pretty sure is a first for any smartphone camera. Also, there's a micro SD slot, so you can expand the phone with pretty much as much memory as you can imagine. I met someone who had actually put a 512 gigabyte card in his HTC 10, which I'm pretty sure is enough memory to control the weather or boot up Skynet. Using the phone is a joy. It has a speedy Snapdragon 820 processor, and everything just seems really fast. In fact, I can't overemphasize how quick and snappy everything about this phone happens to be. I'm also ecstatic that HTC went out of its way to deliver a really clean, minimal interface. There's pretty much no duplicate apps here at all. HTC defers to Google-branded apps in most cases for a really clean install. It's almost, but not quite, like a pure Nexus phone. But HTC does include some really nice customizations and themes, so overall this is just a really good implementation. Unfortunately, the HTC 10 falls prey to ongoing Android fragmentation issues. Let me give you an example. I have a Kevo smart lock on my front door at home. Unfortunately, the Kevo app is not compatible with the HTC 10. That means I couldn't buy this phone if I wanted to. It's either continue to use my iPhone or Samsung Galaxy, or I can't get in my front door. So, is this the right phone for you? It's gorgeous, it's well designed, it's speedy, it's competent, but it doesn't really rise above the competition. It doesn't have any super special features like the 3D touch on the new iPhone, or the curved screen on the Samsung Galaxy, or even the Galaxy's waterproof features. I'll be honest, if this phone were Kevo compatible, I would seriously consider getting it for myself. But since it's not, I'm leaning towards probably the gorgeous curved screen on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. But what about you? Are you persuaded by the HTC 10, or are there other smartphones you would rather have? I'd love to hear what you think. Please sound off in the comments.